the Sports Tab Final Series, right here on the wide world of sports.
Hello there, thanks for joining us for Channel 9's Rugby League coverage of the Sports Tab Final Series. Today, we come to you from Olympic Park in Melbourne, where the home side, the Melbourne Storm, play host to the Canberra Raiders. What a great season for the Storm so far. They finished third in the competition proper. However, a loss last week to the Sydney City Roosters now sees them in a sudden death situation against the Canberra side, which was white hot last week against the Manly Seagulls. Joining us in commentary, Gary Freeman. Welcome, Wiz. What about this game today?
I reckon it's going to be an absolute crackerjack game. The two four-packs will be at each other's throat all day long. But firstly, let's have a look at the form today, Paul. Of the sides over 98, you can see the Melbourne side have played 13 games at home. They've come away with a convincing 9 wins. The Raiders, of course, played 13 away games. Very disappointing, only 6 wins there. Daytime record, both sides look like they want to play in the daytime. Out of the Melbourne side, they've won 7 out of 9. The Canberra side have won 11 out of 17. The last time these two sides did meet, Melbourne were the winners, 16-12.
Let's have a look at the goal kicking now there. Brett Kamala kicking at 50%. He's more of a stopgap kicker though, as is Tony Martin, who hasn't much of a go. One of those players will kick today because Craig Smith is out their normal kicker. David Furner, another great year for him, 68%, a very handy goal kicker. And the leading players sidelined, Aaron Moore, Craig Smith, Glenn Lazarus for the Storm, and for the Raiders, Laurie Daly and Mark McLennan, the main players out today. Well, we mentioned Glenn Lazarus. He's been out now for about 6 weeks with a bad hamstring, but they've coped pretty well without him, the Storm.
Yeah, they certainly have, and they've led by example with Tawaru Nekau, Marquette up the front, taking the ball forward for them all day long. Let's have a look at the Melbourne side now. You can see there Robbie Ross is their fullback. Gaia is on the wing with Bai. In the centres is Bell and Martin. 5'8" is Scotty Hill, halfback is Kamali, and their lock forward, Tawaru Nekau, he's in great form too. Russell Bowden is there in the second row with Marquette, Kearns, Roitery, Richard Swain is the hooker, and the coach of the air, Chris Anderson.
And the Canberra side, some players back for them, so they're nearly at full strength apart from Daly and McLennan. Mullins is the fullback, Nagus back on the wing after injury, Vainakolo on the wing, Pearson and Wiki in the centres, Croker's the 5'8", Ricky Stewart the halfback, in great form as well. Bradley Clyde suffered a knock last week, but he is playing. David Furner and Kennedy in the second rows, Brand and Hetherington in the front rows. Simon Wolford is the hooker, coached by Mel Meninga, who's done a pretty good job. And a player to watch for the Melbourne Storm today, Tawaru Nekau.
Yeah, Tawaru Nekau has been leading by example all season. He's taken over the captaincy. Very, very good with the ball. Likes to offload the ball with that big right arm. Gets it around a couple of plays. He sets up Marcus Bai here against Cronulla. This is a magnificent try, but the big thing Canberra got to worry about with Tawaru today, he gets too wide of the ruck and he can cause some havoc out there.
And the player to watch for the Canberra side, Lizzie Vainakolo. What a season he's had. Look at the size of him. He's absolutely a monster, and he loves to run over the top of players. He's very elusive for a man for his size, only 19 years of age, and he is one to watch today for the Canberra Raiders. He'll have a big game. Who do you like, Wiz?
Mate, I like Melbourne, but I tell you what, this Canberra side have got a lot of their stars back. They're going to be very, very hard to beat here today, but I'm going to go with Melbourne because of the crowd. The weather's not too good. It's a little bit like Canberra weather. For me, it's Melbourne.
I also think Melbourne will win today. I spoke to a few of their players before the game. They were very, very nervous last week. They felt that they played their game a couple of days before the game on the training paddock. I think they'll win today. It's sudden death. It's the Storm versus the Raiders. Your caller is Andrew Voss.
Thank you, Paul. And in a nutshell, today, of course, the loser eliminated. The winner goes on to play the loser of tomorrow's match in Brisbane between the Broncos and Parramatta. The Melbourne faithful have gathered again. Some latecomers arriving. Crowd nowhere near what it was last week for the clash with the Sydney City Roosters, which is disappointing for the Melbourne Storm players and officials. But I'm sure they're going to be every bit as vocal as they have shown and proven right through their debut season in the NRL. As vocal as any crowd, one would suggest. As vocal as the throng in Newcastle. And here are the Canberra Raiders. David Furner takes this side out. Plenty of finals experience across the board in this Canberra side. Bradley Clyde, that man on screen, has played in excess of 20 finals matches. Brett Mullins is a grand final campaigner. They've got the odd supporter around the ground as well, the Raiders, as they look to add to their tally. The win last week against Manly was very impressive. That was on home soil, though. So hard to beat at night at Bruce Stadium. Today they enter enemy territory. They were here just a fortnight ago. And they were beaten by the Melbourne Storm 16-12. And here are the Melbourne team. Out they come to Tawaru Nekau. Is the captain. He has been one of the best performers throughout 1998. He was good in a beaten side last week. And much of their hopes today to rest on that man there, Tawera Nikau. A little chilly. We'll check with conditions from Steve Roach. In fact, we'll do that right now. Steve, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Got Laurie Daly down on the sideline with us. Very nervous, Laurie Daly. A good win from you blokes. We know how well Canberra can attack, but it was their defence that got them home last week.
Yeah, it certainly was, Bocker, and we know that semi-final football, you have to make sure your defence is spot on, and that's where we'll be looking to improve today.
Yeah, they let themselves down last week, the Melbourne Storm. They didn't really get stuck into the match early. I suppose you'll be looking to capitalise there.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, they haven't had too many final players or players that have played in finals, so that's something we'll be trying to use to our advantage today, but obviously we're going to get off the line in defence and really get stuck into them.
How you feeling, mate? Nervous?
Oh, ready to go, mate. Ready to go.
Beautiful conditions down here, 13 degrees on the sideline. A moderate to fresh southwesterly. Melbourne have won the toss and will run with the breeze in the first half.
Steve Clark is the referee for this one. We're underway, the second of the quarterfinals. The Raiders running from left to right in the first 40 minutes. Back come the Melbourne Storm. And already the Raiders, Hetherington went up like it was going to be the last tackle of his career. It was on Bowden. And first penalty of the day goes straight away to the Melbourne Storm. The aggression has not come without a price. Canberra conceded the penalty.
Yeah, big strong run there from Bowden. 3 or 4 of them trying to put him down. He just wanted to make those extra couple of metres, and eventually they were too slow, the Raiders.
So the Storm from the free kick, and this time it's Kearns able to push away from Clyde. He was knocked out last week in what was quite a horrific collision with Kosiev as Rorty put onto his backside by Wolford. And now Johnny Williams scooping up for Morley and Nikau. Canberra hunting up 3 in that tackle on Nikau, the danger man in the Melbourne Storm side. Williams an appeal at dummy half that they're a little slow to clear. Kamali pushes along for Hill. He spun and he spun himself away from support and now is dumped and pushed back 10 metres. They're 35 out from the Canberra line. In centre field, again it's Kearns. His second hit up in this set of 6. Able to offload. Williams promotes it then on for Kamali, kicking and sending the players on the chase. It's Geyer down the right wing. Geyer has scored for the Storm. We'll check to see if he's onside, but that is one right out of the box from Melbourne. What a start!
Absolutely fantastic play. What about Kamali? Not just the pickup, the great hands, the foresight to have a look out wide and then put a kick in. Look at it, it's an ordinary Canberra defensive line. It's terrible. Have a look at it, all over the place. They thought the play had died. They hadn't come up, and Kamali looks out wide. He sees there's no one there. Is the player onside? It looks like it is, Geyer. He's got plenty of toe. Look at the speed, and Mullins couldn't put it. Perfect start for the Storm.
Yeah, tremendous start there for the Storms, but this man here, he's led by example all the time. Manages to get the ball out the back there to his hooker, Williams, but what you said is correct. He just looked out there, there was no one at home. An amazing pace by Geyer to get there to put the ball over the line.
He's being courted right at the moment by a number of clubs. I know the North Queensland Cowboys are keen on this young player, Matt Geyer.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Andrew, he got our man of the match in the same game, Melbourne and Canberra. He played fullback that night to replace the injured Robbie Ross, or the suspended Robbie Ross, I think it was, and now he's shown he's just as good a winger.
He looks competent in all departments. Now pressure on young Kamali. Not boasting a great success rate with a boot this year. He's not their first choice kicker normally. And this kick from 25 metres out and just a couple in from touch. Kamali's kick is across the face. But Melbourne, they won't be complaining with this start. 4 points to nil, only 2 minutes gone. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, I've got to say that they're real dominant. It's a little bit unlucky for the Canberra Raiders here. Kamali shows what a great player he is. He sums up the situation. A tight defence there from the Canberra Raiders, and that's Geyer scoring the try. Who showed more pace than I thought he had.
Ready to go again. And Ferner, back where we all started. Down the centre of the field this time. Bounce evades Hill. And picked up by the try scorer. And away they go again. This is Geyer. Well, this is sensational stuff from Matt Geyer. Second touch of the football and he's raced 50 metres. Melbourne on a roll. Marquette goes to ground quickly in the tackle of Wolford. Out of the left side. Now, you will note that Melbourne started with Williams at hooker. Swain is on the bench. And Melbourne get their second penalty of the match. This one is 30 metres out and almost directly in front.
And I know they've only got stopgap kickers there, but you think right in front they'll have a shot. Brett Kamali's kicking at 50% this year, but this is almost a sitter. Breeze behind them, 30 metres out. So what another great run from Guy. Here's Williams just laying all over the attacking player once again, the Raiders.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That is the break there. The guy has made the second touch of the ball for the young man. The wingers come in great form. He's absolutely showed some tremendous pace there to get around. But I think what the Canberra side are trying to do in defence, trying to out-muscle them, and it really is going against them with the amount of penalties they are giving away.
Kamali's kick from 30 metres out. Missed with his first one from wide out. What a start for Melbourne. Knockout. Quarter-final, and the Storm lead the Raiders by 6 points to 0. Back with the action. Canberra Raiders down by 6 points to 0. That kick. Awkwardly there. Ricky up in defence. Now Marcus Bai gets his first touch. Carries back to the 30-metre line. And Williams up with Bowden. He's appeared in every game this year, Bowden. Many have been off the bench, of course. But has been there for all 25 matches for the Melbourne Storm. And now just short of halfway. Williams, Nikau, inside Raiders territory. Last tackle for Melbourne. Williams back with Hill. Decided to kick. He'll send Guy on the chase again. A little deep, and Mullins with a juggle, almost lost it.
And believe it or not, that is Canberra's first touch of the football, and they'll get a penalty as well. 5.5 minutes it took before Canberra got a taste of the football. And Stephen Clark making his thoughts known. He wants no skullduggery around the rucks with the play the balls. And 3 penalties for that already today.
And the Raiders get hold of the ball. I dare say the first time in the match it is. Their first touch. It has come after 6 minutes. As Fatty mentioned, they're 5 metres inside their own half. And now Furner turns it inside for Kennedy. Back from the injured list for Canberra. Wolford, Furner with a dummy to Clyde, and then a skip forward. Gets it to within 35 metres now of the Melbourne line. Wolford away then with Stewart. Stewart with a short chip. It bounces up for Ricky. He's back in possession. It was almost as if it was carried out in slow motion. And Wolford on the last tackle, kicks deep. Now will the Breeze hold it up? By temporarily looked like he'd lost it. Allows it to go touch in goal, so back to the 20.
A little bit disappointing there. The ball on the ground would have been the better option. The kick has just gone a little bit too low. That is a high tackle from Kennedy. He'll be spoken to by the referee.
He's right around the neck, all right. He started here, went up, and you're getting round the neck. Okay, you've got to get him down.
Tackles on Marquette. Yeah, the target area. A real problem there for Ben Kennedy. Now a deep kick for line.
You just got to say that Marquette was actually falling into the tackle. Thought he was going to be tackled, but Kennedy was at that angle that made it look a little bit higher than it was.
And here they come again inside Canberra territory. Just one set of 6 to Canberra so far. And Melbourne up by 6 points to 0. Rorty into the Wolford tackle. Getting through, plenty of defence early. The Canberra hooker, Kamali. Along for Nikau. There's plenty of runners there, and equally good as the defence. It was Wiki up. Bounced them to ground, but Williams now. And away with Hill. 25 metres out. Back for Kamali. They're dancing and they're passing, and Melbourne now to ground. 22 metres out from the Canberra line. Williams to the left. Kamali gathers it in, kicks. It bounces off the knees. Here's a chance with Ricky Stewart. 40 metres out from his own line. The dummy is fallen for. Now Bainacolo. 30 metres out from the Melbourne line.
Exciting stuff there. Well done, Ricky Stewart. And now, well, this is terrible. Stephen Clark's got to take complete control of these rucks. He's trying hard, but they're only a shandy off putting someone in the bin, I think, referee Steve Clark. But Stewart, the big charge down, was only the 4th tackle for the Storm, decided to kick it. And Bainacolo, that's a good tackle by Kamali on the rampager.
20 metres out from the Melbourne line. Let's go to the sideline, Steve Roach.
Well, both sides have got to settle down, especially the referee too, Stephen Clark. He's already given away 5 penalties. Someone's got to be sent to the sin bin next time.
Here we go, blocker with Wiki off a Furner pass. They're only 5 metres out, the Canberra Raiders. Terrific chance for them to hit back. And Wolford with Hetherington. If they were to lose, it's his last game in the Canberra colours today. He's off to the Cowboys. Here's Stewart trying to lead the way. Now with Furner, the captain. Still 5 out. Over the top was Bowden. Oh, was Robbie Ross. Wolford scooping that one up. Stewart, long ball. He was hammered after passing. Croker, quick hands. And Clyde is to ground on the Storm 10-metre line. Now Croker from dummy half. Goes awfully close. Kamali and Nicow there as the last line. A Melbourne player has been left behind in back play. Stewart's kick across field for the wing of Vanacola and by. Flies high and diffuses the situation. Can he stay in the field of play?
Good stuff there from Marcus By. Good tactics, those ones, putting the high ball up into that stiff breeze. It's a penalty-a-thon.
I think what's happening, everyone's just trying to rush out of the line, and the worst thing about it, Stephen Clark, the referee, is actually refereeing from the ruck area, Paul, and it's making it very hard to determine how far back these players are getting in the 10 metres.
I mentioned a Melbourne player down. It is Paul Bell, and in fact he has left the field, Paul Bell. And Robbie Kearns has tackled his own 40-metre line. Carlaw, the replacement player, John Carlaw coming into the squad in jumper 19. And now here on the left, Nicow. Just inside Canberra's half, the shortest of passes finding Marquette. It was a pass like that that set up a try last week for the Storm against the Roosters. Hill, flat-footed, away from Clyde. Hill, great skills for Kearns. He loses the ball. There was some reluctance to pick up the loose ball as well at the back for Canberra.
He's a fine player, Scott Hill, and it was a nice little dash through the line there and looked for support, found it in Kearns. Kearns didn't show any patience at all with the football.
And Wolford Kennedy, high ball there for Nagus. He returns from a broken hand today. He's had all sorts of injury problems this year. And Stewart up and away with Brand. He was top tackle last week, Anthony Brand, for this Canberra side. Wolford from dummy half makes 15 metres. He can make that 20. Good scurry from the Raiders hooker. Clyde. Stewart turning and passing over the head of Hetherington. Juggled there by Furner. Now he gathers it in. That hesitation allowed Hill to come up in defence. Last tackle with Canberra. Stewart kicking. All his teammates standing in front of him. It's not a good kick. Straight to Marcus By. And By's able to get it up to full pelt rather quickly.
He's an exciting player, isn't he? Marcus By caught that ball. No one really helping Ricky Stewart out in their kicking duties. They were around about 30 metres across the field.
Carlaw, the man who plays it. Storm with a start. Kick for Matt Geyer. Quite a sensational try to start the match. And here is Kearns. Doing a bit of a stock take of front rowers, thinking about the test against the Kiwis to come up next month. Kearns is very much a contender. All the New South Wales props from this year are out of business. Pass put down by Kamali. It's play on for Canberra. Stewart is keen. Can't get to the ball. The first knock on against Melbourne.
First mistake really the Melbourne side have come up with a drop ball by Kamali. Once again, they're offloading the ball at will. Now they'll just try anything, these forwards. This might be the break that Canberra needs to get them back into the game. Get some points on the board because they can attack from the scrum base here.
So Stewart, Bulldog bound in 1999. Ricky Stewart along with Bradley Clyde. Another dummy half right now. Clyde away, and oh, that's a soft knock on from Kennedy. Just going through the motions so early in the tackle count. There was no ferocity going to come about the run.
Yeah, it's a soft knock on that might hit them hard, because now Melbourne have got great field position, only 35 metres out from the Canberra line. And Steve Roach is right, neither team has settled down yet. You saw that early try to the Melbourne side, but it's been very stop-start football.
And Hill, it was an awkward ball from Kamali. Hill did likewise for Ross. Pressure football from Melbourne. Now Marcus By decides a blindside run, close to the sideline, goes to ground quickly in the Croker tackle. Martin at dummy half, but headgear like a beacon on his head. Here's Kearns. One-hander out the back, Marquette fumbles. 30 metres out from the Canberra line. William It's for 6 metres. That's the settler, Kennedy in defence. With him was Hetherington. Now up with Rorty. Carries it inside the 20-metre zone. Last tackle for Melbourne. Nicow is sending to the blind side. Kamali on the open. He's with it. Kamali kicking for the wing of Marcus Bai. It's Bai and Vainikolo. And Vainikolo this time doing what Bai had done at the other end of the field. And the tackle was Hill and Martin up keenly in defence. Now Hetherington battering over the top from Kearns. Marquette had driven in low. This is DeVico off the bench. One of their best players last week against Manly. He started in that match. Now Nagus with a centre. Tremendously gifted athlete Ken Nagus. Ferner. Short passing game on show now from the Raiders with Payton. This time last year playing schoolboy football. Stewart's kick. Ricocheting off the chest of Bai. Vainikolo wants to contest it. He's come up with a football. Clark having none of it.
Yeah, tremendous there. Ricky Stewart under a little bit of pressure there on the blind side. The ball is stolen. There is 2 people in the tackle there. Not that I agree with this penalty whatsoever. There's one really only onto the ball. I don't know, touching his back actually helped Paul Borton.
Oh, he came in late, but I suppose technically there were 2 there. Wiz?
15 gone in this elimination quarter-final. We're joined by the Australian skipper Laurie Daly today. Laurie, what have you made of the first 15?
Yeah, obviously our ball control hasn't been what we talked about all week. We had a slow start against Manly last week. Again, we've had a slow start, but what we have to do is we really got to hang in here.
And this is Robbie Ross on a weaving run that has taken them to 25 metres out in centre field. Nicow, he ignites. Not this time though. Marquette, his support player, was taken out by Clyde. Williams from dummy half clears himself of that ruck. Passing away for Evans. He has been outstanding off the bench for Melbourne. Last tackle 5 metres out. Williams with it. Kamali kicking to the left. There's chasers there. The ricochet, still a chance for Melbourne. The tackle count has restarted for the Storm and they are right on the Raiders line. Slow play the ball and a burrowing effort from dummy half. They may well have got there. Gee, I don't know. I think they may have scored. 16 gone.
Well, the crowd behind the post there where the Melbourne players have forced over, they think he scored. Not even sure who it is. Burrowed down, got down low.
I think it's Scott Hill, Paul.
Does the ball touch the ground? I'll tell a man it does. That'll be a try.
You're ready for the reaction. Barry Barnes, the video referee, and he provides the pressing of the green button. Second try for Melbourne. Scott Hill, his 14th try for the season. And that was power from the young 5'8". In the meantime, Kamali lines up his 3rd shot at goal. He's kicked 1. This one is 20 metres in from touch and 19 out. A real hush over the crowd here at Olympic Park as Kamali bangs it over. What a lead in finals football. Although sides have come back from that point before. 12-0 to the Storm. Big stadium. So the score, 12 points to 0. 2 tries to the Storm. Here is Nicow. Hard list for him. Melbourne would be absolutely thrilled with this start. The Storm coming up with 2 tries in the first 17 minutes. I did mention those sides have come back from 12 points down in finals football so far this year. It happened with Canterbury beating St George in week 1, and likewise Parramatta against North Sydney as some crunching defence on Evans.
And it happened in 1984, man. He led South 12-0 too, Bossy. Oh, we got hammered.
I remember it well. Billy Hardy ran rampant through the Manly pack as the Melbourne Storm find the line. Mario was captain of the Bunnies back then. Mario Fennick.
As he keeps reminding me. You've got to say, Canberra, for mine, haven't really got into this game yet. They haven't settled down. They've had to do all the tackling, nearly twice as many tackles. It's only a matter of time. I mean, they've got too many experienced players yet. They know Laurie Daly, we know that, but Ricky Stewart's there, David Ferner, plenty of experience. They'll settle down soon.
I think the referee here is checking the 40-20 rule. See if this will be a Melbourne feed. I must agree with you, Paul Horton. They really have struggled to settle themselves down. I think he's just over the line. He's way over the line. So this will be a Ricky Stewart feed for Canberra.
Goes to check. They're talking about that finals experience. Ricky Stewart, the man at the scrum base, parking there. Using for Croker, but Stewart, 23 finals. He's had 15 victories in those 23 finals appearances. That is an impressive record as Pearson twisting and turning in the tackle of Rorty and Marquette, the Storm forwards. Now Clyde running one out for the Raiders as they try and work their way back into this one. Possession very much the advantage with Melbourne early. Payton gets the Raiders back to halfway. Now Wolford to the open side. Stewart, inside ball for DeVico. One-hander, then back for Nagus, trying to get some speed happening. Furner, some quick hands. Stewart, wider there for Pearson. Angles back infield, but the Storm defence standing solid. And now Nagus, Croker. This is the last play. Stewart just a touch on for Mullins to put the kick in. No pressure on Marcus Bai. And again, he's got a bit of a run-up before he gets to the Raiders' defence. And look at Marcus. Eating up the metres, tackled by Payton.
That's one thing that they are doing so well, the Melbourne side. They're getting up in the face of the Canberra side and putting them under heaps of pressure. No one really decided to kick the ball at the last moment. Mullins did.
That guy pushed back in the tackle. Now young Matt Rua is there for the Storm. Had a couple of seasons at Manly before heading south. Tarura Nikau, 40 metres out from the Canberra line all the time, posing questions for this Canberra defence. Williams passing off the deck for Hill. It's down by his wing. This one will beat them all over the sideline. But they're keeping Canberra under pressure. First quarter of this match gone.
Very good options there from Hill. And of course, Kamali been on the right-hand side. Young Scotty Hill putting that ball on the left-hand side of the ground. Nice little roll there. And really what they're doing is actually pinning the Canberra side down in their own probably 50 for the last probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Scrum just 10 metres out from the Raiders line. Notice they've moved Vanacola to the open side of the scrum. That has spat out the back of the scrum. Well, that one has gone dead in goal. I don't think I've ever seen that before coming out of a scrum, and it was allowed to trickle over the dead ball line, so a line drop out.
Wow, what about that? Canberra going to get the advantage, and it's been a super here. Look at it go. It's gone 1,000 yards.
Have you ever seen it before?
Never.
Once again, the pressure now is going to be right on Canberra, isn't it? Another set of 6 they've really got to defend for. They've got to really try and close the Melbourne side up, stop getting their offloads.
Remarkable. He must have a lead heel. Whoever got the foot to it. You'd like to think it was the hooker Wolford. I doubt that. Here's Evans. Inside the 40-metre zone. Melbourne on the attack again. Williams. Will they pick up the tempo? Able to offload Geyer, their first try scorer. In turn, he's able to offload. That's the outstanding feature of the Melbourne attack, the offload so far. Evans is 30 metres out. Williams for Kamali. Nikau, 3 on his outside. Rua is 1, and it's called forward to Rua.
Well, that's been threatening, hasn't it, today? They do throw some very flat passes. I don't know, that was flat.
I just think that with the way that Tawera passes the ball, Paul, you can back me up or not, that he throws it and he runs backwards at the same time. It looks like it's going forward.
With you, Wiz. I'll back you up all the way, son.
Thank you.
No one pronounces his name better, do they, than
Tawera Nikau.
That's him. Let's take a comment from the sideline. Blocker.
Yeah, well, I know Canberra have had to do plenty of defence early in this match, but to me, the Melbourne Storm pack looks a lot more athletic. They're getting their feet a lot quicker than the Canberra Raiders at the moment and making valuable yardage.
Now the Raiders, they move it forward with DeVico. Back slam for his troubles too, just short of halfway. Every tackle counts that Melbourne are making. It was Williams who really provided the muscle. Mullins up into the line. Martin is there. Along with him was Kamali. And now Hetherington with a show of the ball and able to offload. Wolford. Quick hands from DeVico. Good stuff. Stewart. Croker. Passing. The momentum gone. Furner then put down by Pearson. Knocked back, says Clark. Don't care to dispute that. I know he was facing back to his own goal line. I thought it may have been knocked forward though. Stewart's kick. He's watching it closely. This one is out on the full. The moment he put boot to ball, he was worried, Ricky Stewart.
So nothing going right for the Canberra side. Not a bad set of 6 though. At least they gave themselves a chance of making some ground. They hit it up close the first couple, gave it a spin. They moved it, they shifted it out wide.
And now the Storm with Kamali. Again, Evans is getting the offloads. That's 3 or 4 since he's come on. His second phase play has got Canberra baffled. And Bella's back after a stint on the sidelines. 25 metres out from the Canberra line. They've already scored 2 tries. Nick Howe, very flat pass from dummy half to the Canberra 20. And Kamali, here are the runners. It comes there for Evans, then for Martin. Here's another. Here is another Storm try. It is all Melbourne. Their 3rd try for the afternoon. It is 16-0.
And that was made to look so easy. The Canberra side were backpedaling in defence. Look at how Kamali hits this at speed. They've only just had a chance to get back to 10 metres. A beautiful ball to Evans and a perfect pass from the big prop on to Tony Martin. Nice strolling over in the corner.
Tremendous work once again by the little halfback, the general. He's really directing play around so well, but the players that do get caught out. Ruben Wiki is one. He's in 2 minds who to take, who not to take, and it leaves poor Vinocolo all by himself. The difference in defence today is Melbourne. If they see it's going to be short, they just fly in and take the man with the ball. They stood there and waited Canberra, and they've come off second there with a great try to Martin.
I'll tell you what they did there, Gary. They let the ball sing. Let the ball do all the work. Beautiful stuff there from Melbourne. They're playing great football. Better semi-final football today than they did last week, that's for sure.
And Fatty, that young man, Tony Martin, re-signed for 2 years this week for the Melbourne Storm, just 19 years of age. Only his 2nd finals appearance. And Kamali's kick, his 4th of the afternoon. Well, I think we all tipped Melbourne, but who would have thought this scoreline so early? Kamali won't come close with a kick. So here at Olympic Park, it's the Storm 16, the Raiders blot. And it's gone, and the Canberra Raiders are looking right down the barrel of an exit from the 1998 NRL Premiership. This bloke having a tremendous impact, Wayne Evans. So the Melbourne Storm in the driver's seat. 16-0. Still plenty of time left in this first half. Here's Nikau. You've got me saying it now, Gary. 35 metres out from their own line. And Swain is now on. Passing away, charged down. Not a chance for the Raiders because Hill was minding his own business back on the 30. So the tackle count restarts for Melbourne, when in other matches it may well have been the Raiders streaming away for a try as Evans carries forward. Another offload from Evans. It's back for Swain. Down eventually, but they're inside Raiders territory now. Ross up with Kamali. Some nice passing on for Bowden. Kamali was punished after passing. Swain. Nikau. 30 out from the Raiders line. They go high on Nikau. Stewart was over the top. Kamali. 25 out. Hill. Runners again. Martin. Vinocolo is standing well in from the sideline. It's called forward the pass. Well, Vinocolo is showing Marcus Bai some room.
That's how they defend Canberra. They allow the opposition some opportunities out wide. They try and cover them, but Kamali's really got the ball on a string. I think that ball there was the one he thought went forward. The last one definitely looked forward. You know, I know it's 16-0. I can see on the sideline Laurie Daly's head's down a fraction, but they're not out of it, Canberra. It's not as if they played poorly. It's just that Melbourne are on a roll at the moment, and Canberra just needs some quality possession and some quality field position. And no mistakes like that would help.
Loose play inside the danger zone. Pearson back inside their own 20. Nagus. Good metres from Ken Nagus. Got them back to the 30. And Critis on in 15. DeVico. One point about Melbourne, all through the season, they've bounced back very well from their losses. In fact, only once this year did they lose 2 in a row. That was against Auckland and Brisbane, round 16 and 17. And now a penalty to Canberra, that helps. Late in the tackle count, Evans penalised.
Well, there he goes, he makes the tackle here and just lays on just a fraction too long. But I tell you what they are doing is, the Canberra need to do now, they need to use the ball just a fraction wider. Taking it one off the ruck and just suiting this Melbourne's forward pack. They're just going up there and smashing it. Ricky Stewart needs to take control, and they've missed the line.
And that is a rarity. Stewart doesn't find the line. Martin was almost half-hearted his attempt. He did enough to get it back into the field of play, and now Melbourne have lost it.
Well, that breeze down there must be stiffer than it looks.
40 metres out from the line. That stat telling. Time in opposition half, double for Melbourne. And now a chance for the Raiders, perhaps. Critis a dummy half. He's another that's headed for the greener pastures next year, if that's possibly not the right expression, but he's off to Adelaide next year. 35 metres out from the Melbourne line. DeVico there with Croker. Nagus is standing centre field, and Croker was cleaned up in the tackle of Evans. Nagus, 30 metres out. Really getting involved, Ken Nagus. Now Critis, Stewart. Etherington the decoy. Mullins in from the back. Weaving, then back for Wiki. Trying to spin away from the attempted tackle of Marquette. Some hands there on for Furner. It may have been touched by Melbourne. No call from Clark. Now Nagus. And Nagus is able to pass it in the end. They fall on their own sword, and back come the Melbourne Storm.
Great ball.
Martin with it. Reefed out in the tackle, and a penalty goes to the Melbourne Storm. It was Wiki over the top.
I just heard one of the Canberra players before say everything is going Melbourne's way, and they're dead set right there.
They are doing that. They're putting themselves in a position to receive the ball. This is Kenny Nagus now. Throws the ball back. Morley picks it up. Robbie Ross makes a great pass there. What about this ball around the back there to Martin? Tremendous stuff. This is where the ball is stolen by Vonacolo.
Now Ross. Quick hands for Melbourne. Hill and Geyer. Hasn't seen a great deal of the football since his scintillating start. Kamali. And infield they come with Evans. He's looking to pass again. He had the arm free. Quick play the ball. Dummy half a slow to get to it though. Swain now stepping. Swain has tackled 12 metres out from the Canberra line. At 16-0, Ross. Hill steps off the right foot. Hill and tackled. 5 out. 3 defenders there. Ball and all was Brand. Last tackle, Kamali. Plenty of numbers on the left. Kamali passes. It is loose. Brand gets to the loose ball. Good urgency shown from the front rower.
Canberra now gets in possession, and Laurie Daly, if you were out there, Laurie, as the captain and the playmaker, where would you now be instructing your players to run?
Oh, just to be instructing at the moment, Fatty, is just to hang on to the ball and not panic. Even though we're 16 points down, Melbourne have just had the run of everything. They've got the decisions going their way, they've had better ball control, so we've just got to try and work our way back into the game.
And obviously in the second half, use that win to your advantage.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. We've got to play good field position in that second half. But I think if we can get some points on in this last 10 minutes, we're a big show in the second half.
Werner tackled. Last it is for Canberra. And Ricky Stewart kicking for the wing of Geyer. It bounces up nicely for Geyer. 10 metres out from his own line, and a chance to link up with Ross. He just straightens and takes the tackle on the 20. DeVico, the first man there with Croker. Another player returning from injury for Canberra. Here is Marcus Bai. Got away from Wiki, then away from another. He's done this plenty of times through the year. Now away from another 2. He's beaten 5 and goes to ground in the Croker tackle. Marcus Bai.
Tremendous work, Marcus Bai. He's the man that really is inspirational in the ruck here, along with this man here, Tawira Nikau, having a magnificent first half.
Kamali and Hill. Able to pass there for Ross. Quick hands for Martin. Martin is away, 25 metres out. Mullins and Furner to cover. Melbourne all set to the right. Rorty. Straight and hard goes the front rower for the Storm. He's got 12 on his back. He's playing at prop. Now Swain. Swain is just 2 metres out from the line. Ross a dummy half. It could be all over here for Canberra. Kamali kicks through, and Mullins scrambles to get the bouncing ball.
Canberra do well to hang on, don't they? Breathing huge sighs of relief. Another great break made down the left-hand side by Tony Martin. And you know, something I really enjoyed here was the fact that he did not kick the ball back on the inside. Had no support, and he just took the tackle and they played on. Well done, Tony Martin.
Vanacolo on the 30-metre line for Canberra. A little slow to get to his feet, Vanacolo. And Brand to the 40-metre line. Critis kicking on the last from dummy half. This kick has Ross going back. It's close to the sideline. Well, it's wide. Out on the full. Changeover 40 metres out from the Canberra line. Self-destructing the Raiders.
It's something that wouldn't be happy with that kick. Critis jumping out just too quickly, and now the Melbourne side certainly on attack one more time.
Swain playing minus a boot. I saw a short time back his left boot flying over the crossbar. And Ross, Martin, nice hands. Taken by Wiki. And Ross, Warty wanted another run. Lost slow, caught in possession. Clyde was the tackler. It is being touched, has it? Tackle count has restarted for Melbourne. Marcus by 15 metres out. Critis got in from behind. And slow to clear was Critis. Swain. Nicow. 8 metres out. Good tackle from Kennedy. Shutting Nicow down. Swain again. From dummy half goes the one booted one, Swain. And held up in the tackle of Payton and Kennedy. Now Nicow. Up to the left with Kamali. Kamali's pass. Wiki moved up out of the line quickly. And By scores. Oh, the green machine. What has happened? The short circuit here. Melbourne stalled. It is raging for the home team.
Oh, well, now they'll start to do it tough, the Canberra side. They were looking to get points before half-time. Instead, the Melbourne Storm get another try. And this defence out wide has just been atrocious. Look at them rushing up. Ruben Wiki. I wish you had Sterlo's magic pen. I could have pointed that one out. But Marcus By, Bainakala coming over. You just can't stop them when you give them that much room.
Well, you certainly can't, but what about that catch there by Martin? Right down, nice and low, picks it up, steps off his left foot there, Marcus By. The cover just couldn't get to him, but this catch, this is just superb football. The young halfback, once again, nice long ball, cuts everyone out. As you said, Ruben Wiki coming to make the tackle. The hands there for Martin to set up By. Tremendous work. This far out from the line, not many people are going to stop this man.
Yeah, look, it was strange defence from Ruben Wiki. I'm not sure if that's the way he's instructed to defend in that area or whatever, but all you do by sprinting up out of that line is give them a path to run to. It's open slather once you sprint out of the line.
You're right, Paulie. On the replay, had no intentions of taking an intercept. He didn't have his arms out, he just played the man. And he was the man being cut out with a pass. Here's Kamali's kick. It swings wide from Kamali. They've scored 4 tries. The 4th from Marcus By, 20-0.
And the secret to this try is the patience shown by Tony Martin. Look at this. For such a young player, catch and pass on the outside. Marcus By gets it, and that's the try, and that should be Millie Vasula before half-time. Scott Hill has a shoulder problem again, but he's got about 10 minutes to get it fixed before half-time. We'll come back straight after.
I hope Laurie lasts the distance with us today.
He's gone.
He's trembling. I can see it from here.
He's blown up the Lux.
Melbourne are with it. 15 out from their own line. 20-0. Critical that Canberra can somehow manufacture a try before half-time. And Swain away with Williams now adopting the role of a running forward, having started at hooker.
Yeah, Laurie, it's fatty again, mate. What about that defence out wide as Scott Hill takes a little rest?
Yeah, obviously the boys are getting off their line, but they're not reading it real well. The first 2 tries that they've scored on this right-hand side of the fence, both the guys have been going up, but they haven't been taking anyone. You know, especially that first try, Ruben took air and Leslie took air. And then the second try, at least Ruben went to a bloke, but Leslie sort of went in between. He was a bit shell-shocked, I suppose. He didn't know who to take. But if they're going to come off the line, you've got to take someone. You just can't run into space.
No, you did right. Just making some fundamental errors. I hope we're not being too hard on them out there. Sure, Melbourne Ingram, he'll have plenty to say at half-time about their defence.
Yeah, he'd be very disappointed, mate. That's one area of the game that we really worked hard on during the week. But obviously there's no communication out there. But as I say, mate, we've just got to keep hanging in and hopefully things will change.
The Raiders did mount a second-half challenge against the Storm here a fortnight ago. The scoreline wasn't quite as drastic then. Here's Kennedy, short of the 30-metre line. Wolford, they attack the left with Pearson. A short pass offered there for Nagus. Nice tackle from Bell. Wolford, they keep it going to the left, the blind side with Pearson. Standing wide, able to make the tackle. Wolford back for Nagus, then on with Stewart, looking a little sharper now. Stewart puts the kick through. Payton was coming through, the big front rower. Melbourne get to the loose ball. There was plenty of jostling on the run through.
Very good for Ricky Stewart just to try and turn this Melbourne side around a fraction, put the little chip over through. And once again, a little bit of luck not going their way as Melbourne once again about 55, 60 metres out from the try line of Canberra.
Swain tackled. 40 out from the Raiders line. The first of 4 tries came after just 2 minutes here today. Geyer it has continued for the Melbourne Storm. Williams, strong effort from him. 35 out from the Canberra line. Wolford defending. Wolford's tackle count. There are a number of the Raiders forwards in double figures. Kamali, 20 metres out, kicks back across field. I'm sure Ross is offside. Kick will come down, in fact, too deep. Dropped by Vanacola. This is an interesting one. This should be a line dropout.
I'm with you. He's dropped the ball. The linesman is saying to Stephen Clark that he caught it. 100 to 1 he caught it. Where's the catch? Oh, anyway.
Well, one goes the Raiders' way, not really when they wanted it, I suppose, or they'll take anything at the moment. That close to half-time, at the wrong end of the field, and now Pearson.
This is what's so good about the Melbourne side. They're really getting up in the face of Canberra, put him under all sorts of pressure. You see the Canberra players really losing a little bit of control because they probably haven't had this sort of defence put up against them the last couple of weeks.
Stewart passing up to Kennedy, quick hands and put down by Nagus. Pressure again on the men at the back. The Raiders make another mistake. It went from bad to worse from the second minute from the Canberra Raiders. This elimination quarter-final, Melbourne Storm in control. Will pause with a Storm in front by 20 points to 0. On and meticulously placed by Kamali. He paced out his step back and gets us back underway. This is McNamara. Upended in the tackle of Martin. We'll hear from Steve Roach and Laurie Daly shortly, as now Brand carries to the 30-metre line for the Raiders. Wolford away for DeVico. Over the 40-metre line. Good carry from the Raiders front rower. I know he's limping now, Luke DeVico. Not a good sign. Ferner doesn't get his step in up to halfway. Kearns the tackler. And now Stewart kicking from just inside his own half, placing that one. A couple of kicks in the first half out on the full. Just adding to the error list for the Canberra Raiders. Here is Ross trying to bounce away from Brand, leading the chase downfield. Williams up with Geyer. Clyde gets him going across field, and Wickie's able to finish off in defence. They keep it to the blind side with Marquette. DeVico has recovered. He made the tackle. Now Rorty, the straight running of the Melbourne Storm, 5 metres short of halfway, and quick play the ball. This is the pattern they like. Kamali kicks before the last. Between Mullins and Nagus. Mullins on his own 20-metre line. The chasers are all there. Bell's the first man. He gets past Bell. Comes again to make the tackle. And now Kennedy. With a right arm free. Let's go down to the sideline and hear from Steve Roach.
Yeah, Chris Anderson, the Melbourne Storm coach, he was thrilled with their enthusiasm. He said the start was the most pleasing thing. We're doing the little things faster and better. He said the only danger for Canberra in the second half is they're very dangerous in second phase. With Nagus and Mullins, stay alive in the fence, you guys. He said he doesn't want them to clock off in the second half. He said let's win back some respect we lost last week. Laurie, you've been in with Mal. I can assure you that he probably wasn't too happy.
No, he wasn't too happy, but it was surprising the mood in the dressing sheds. The boys were fairly enthusiastic about their chances in the second half. They just realised they've just got to stay composed, make sure they get their completion rate up, and try and put some pressure on the Melbourne Storm kickers. So we're retrieving the ball at the 50-metre or so, and then we can put them under some pressure straight away from the kick returns.
They'll stand by Laurie because this is the Raiders' opportunity. Here is Croker, only 5 metres out from the line. Kearns the tackler. He's derobed Croker in the tackle. Stewart, the short pass there for Clyde, then back for Stewart. Wrapping around him was Croker, fully dressed and tackled by Bell. 5 out. Dummy half is Wolford. Thought about the blind side. Open side with Nagus. Nagus, the ball has been popped up and dropped there by Ferner. It'll be play on for Melbourne. And the Storm's out of trouble. Freeman goes off early as Kamali is tackled on the 30.
Tremendous work there, won by Nagus to try and get the ball back. And we'll get a penalty. I think the referee's been on to both sides now. Get off the player quickly. Oh, here's Nagus going to the line, trying to put... This is what I think Canberra aren't doing, not backing each other up, getting there. The knock-on comes from Ferner, and then just an easy missed tackle there by Croker. You won't see that every day. And he takes the tackle, tries to get up and play the ball quickly, and Canberra give away the penalty.
So now it's Melbourne's turn inside the Canberra half with Rorty, a player who's due to undergo shoulder surgery in the off-season. So too the Storm halfback, Kamali. They've battled on through this season to Wira Nikau inside the Raiders 30. Williams. And with Kamali. Then up for Marquette and lost. It'll be a Canberra scrum feed.
Yeah, good ball there thrown to Marquette. The defence was up quickly. It was touch and go as to whether he caught it. If he had caught it, he was almost through a gap. Stewart was there. Strong player, Marquette. Newcastle Knights, London Mariners, now with the Storm.
He's one of those players you describe as low maintenance. You just don't have to worry about him. He's always there doing his job. He'll do 20, 25 tackles a game, around 15 hit-ups. Has excelled here in Melbourne. There's now Canberra Clyde. Back in there for Brand, and Brand just stretches out the big front rower. Gets it inside the Melbourne half. Williams trailed him downfield to make the tackle. Now Wolford. Run from that point back for Brand and Clyde. Into Nicow. Just dumped the pass back for Wolford. Nicow making 2 tackles in the one motion. Made a plea to referee Clark that it was knocked forward. Denied. Now Furner. Inside for Mullins, back for David Furner. Canberra trying to get something started. We heard from Laurie Daly. There was still some confidence in the rooms at half-time. Wolford for Stewart. Kennedy on the inside. Kennedy's coughed it up. And Kearns is away for the Melbourne Storm.
Well, look, I've got no doubt that Canberra can make this match very interesting in their second half, but they don't need mistakes like that one.
No. At the end of a Ross pass and some scrappy play. The call from Clark.
Oh, the crowd's gone up on the other side. They don't like it. What has Stephen Clark found? So here they are. I'm not sure what Marcus Bai said.
They didn't rev up the crowd.
Native.
I think Marcus was happy to say that he knocked the ball on. But it's that left side as the boys get a little bit unfriendly in the scrum there.
Let's have a listen to the caution from Clark here.
Just like skippers, mate, don't come in until I'm ready, all right? You get yourself in a lot of danger, and don't come charging in, particularly with your head, all right? Yeah, calm it down, okay?
Interesting stuff there for 2 front rows to be told to calm it down. What Block would think about that.
They've got to do something to try and absolutely steal the storm, haven't they?
Now let's get it on.
I think that might be the only way too, is to put them off their game.
The Raiders on halfway. And Stewart. Inside for Mullins. Mullins spitting that pass out the back for Kennedy. Nice step from Kennedy. They're taken low in the tackle of Marquette. Here is Wolford. A dart from Simon Wolford. He's probably been one of their best today for Canberra. Simon Wolford. 30 metres out from the Melbourne line. It did appear to be a second tackle from Williams. There's Croker. Quick hands on the inside. Pearson pushed back in the tackle. They're on the hunt, the Melbourne defenders. It was Bell. Tried for Nagus. Into the tackle, 25 metres out. What sort of kick will Ricky Stewart come up with? He gets his chance. Steadies. Bomb is centre field. It's not his best, Ricky Stewart. He could almost stand on the one place and catch it. And Rawdon straight down his throat. And Marcus Bai. There's been no fairy tale endings this season. Cliff Lyons at Bruce Stadium last Friday week. And then last night, Greg Florimo at Bear Park. The script is going that way for the likes of Stewart and Clyde here for Canberra. There's another knife from the back for the Raiders.
Well, that's 12 penalties in the match so far. I dead set reckon 10 of them have been for that infringement. People laying around in the ruck.
Ruben Wiki, the offender that time. And here go the Storm with Kearns. I made the point early in the match that New South Wales props have fallen by the wayside. The Origin props from this year, Howe, Harrigan and Lazarus. So suddenly you're looking at test players of the like of Shane Webke for the matches against the Kiwis in October, which you'll see on the Widewater Sports. Here's Nicow, 30 metres out from the Canberra line. The Storm really looking to shut the Raiders out if they haven't already. Kamali, straight past Croker. Kamali, the pass has been knocked down, fielded by Bowden. Then Nicow. 10 out from the Raiders line. In all of that, the tackle count restarted. Williams a dummy half. Inside ball there for Rorty. Rorty getting those legs pumping. 5 out. Brand the tackler. Now Williams to the left. Kamali steering the ship. Hill, quick hands on the inside. It is Kearns turning in the tackle and fielded there by Canberra. So away comes David Furner. And Croker back to the 10-metre line.
A big chance there for the Storm to wrap this game up. It's another penalty for the same thing. A good chance here if they had held onto the football. The Canberra side did look vulnerable. Sloppy passes like that.
In all of that, Fatty, I was looking back at Ricky Stewart. He was in a fair amount of distress. Brett Mullins had called to the bench. He had a problem after that scrimmage close to the line. He's back on his feet now. Obviously wants to stay out there. I don't think he's 100% right now. As Prittis turns the Raiders to the left with Kennedy. 5 short of halfway. Prittis, a dummy. There's Ricky Stewart. He's watching on from the back of the attacking line at the moment, awfully close to the sideline. There's troubles here for Canberra, more troubles, this time with their skipper. And DeVico, Nagus. Furner's gone back down. It's not David Furner. We'll identify the player in a moment as it comes back here for Pearson. There's a punch up in back play. DeVico is swinging punches. Pearson tackled 30 metres out from the line, but here's where the trouble is on. It's an old-fashioned blue. DeVico was getting in plenty of rights. It was hard to know where to look there for a while. Meanwhile, the Canberra player is still down on the sideline, and Stephen Clark has got his hands full.
DeVico and Rorty toe-to-toe. I'll tell you what.
Melbourne, he's reported you as the instigator, all right? Let's cut the rubbish out. Dave, let's cool it. It's a big game. I'm not going to copy it, but I'm going to stamp it right out. Let's get it down.
Raiders penalty here. Clearing out the injured player. It was Luke Prittis. He's okay again. Plenty said in all of that from all parts. There were Melbourne players, Canberra players all having their say. There were calls from the sideline, from the Raiders bench. And now back with the action, Brand. 20-0 to the Melbourne Storm. 10 gone in the second half. Kennedy attacking the blind for Nagus. The defence has been sweating on Ken all day. He hasn't seen a great deal of open space. Prittis up there with Payton. 10 metres out from the line. Payton will step up next season with the departure of the likes of Hetherington. Stewart. Long ball from Stewart for Furner. Then back for Bradley Clyde. It's the old firm. Clyde is 5 metres out. Now gets it to the goal line and is held up. Bradley Clyde held up. The experienced players coming to the fore for the Raiders on that attacking raid. Now Stewart. Long pass again from Stewart. Fielded by Payton. Around the back for Brand. 10 metres out from the line. This pass comes back. Fielded by Stewart. The Raiders keeping it alive with Croker. Croker taken the ground by Nicow. Scrambling defence from Melbourne. One of the rare times in the match, Stewart. Bullet-like pass for Nagus, then for Pearson. All hands on deck for Melbourne and they make the tackle.
It's great defence by the Melbourne side because Ricky Stewart is starting to wield some magic out there. He's searching for gaps out wide, but there's nothing. None. Zilch. They can't get through the Canberra side. Bradley Clyde actually grounded the football, but it may have come up a fraction short.
That's where the Canberra side now really got to get up in the face of Melbourne, put some pressure on them, try and make them force a mistake as Kearns goes to the line 20 metres out from his own try line.
The replay showed that Clyde came as close as he could possibly go to scoring. He may have even got a touch of thread on the ball. On the try line, it was desperately close. A touch of thread on the ball. Touch of thread from the ball. We'll worry about that tomorrow as the Raiders are back with it on their own 40-metre line. And now on halfway. Still at the halftime score of 20-0. Stewart up with Clyde. And Stewart switching the point of attack. Mullins! Straight through goes Brett Mullins and brilliant tackle from Ross. Fullback on fullback. Attacking with Prittis for Canberra. Mobile, 15-metre gain then for Furner. This is better stuff from Canberra. They need the try. Payton, quick hands back in for Croker. Nicow. Equally good the defence there of the Melbourne captain. Last tackle, Pearson. Stewart steps away from Williams, gets the kick in. The chasers are onside. It's McNamara there first, and Marcus Byers with it. And away goes Marcus back to the 20.
Oh, what a great game of footy. Ricky Stewart directing the play around with Mullins going right down the middle of it, then putting the kick up nice and high. But Marcus Byer, what a take. Tremendous effort there to get up above everyone. And Martin showing a good little cover there for Marcus Byer to receive the ball.
Melbourne now almost back to halfway, but a little more rugged now, the confrontation for them. Hill with Evans. Got to win 4 or 5 offloads in that first half. Wayne Evans. Kearns passing before the line. And last tackle it is for Melbourne. It was Ross in support of Kearns. Here's Kamali kicking from 40 metres out from the Canberra line. The wind will hold that one up. Mullins is under pressure here and does it well. Does it extra well, Brett Mullins at the back for the Raiders. Now Nagus. Kennedy back. Over the 20. Well worth looking at that take again of Mullins. Tackled on landing. And Pearson, 25 out. Kennedy. Stewart. Then away with Wiki. A dummy to McNamara. Wiki. Almost a gap there. Nick Howe was across in defence with Bowden. McNamara gets his chance now. Makes 10. Tackle 5 for Canberra. Ricky Stewart. Bad pass for him. Handled it well. Stewart. Then on for Payton. This is the last tackle. Kennedy is with it and knocked down there by Geyer. In fact, Hill. 20 points to nil. The Storm over the Raiders. 54 gone.
On a count.
4 tries to nil. And 20-0 the scoreline at Olympic Park. As they work this scrum and Clyde peels off the back. Into the tackle of Marquette and Kamali. Now with Frittis. Vito for the Canberra Raiders. The Raiders on the attack. 35 metres out from the Melbourne line. It bounced up there nicely for Wiki. Slips a loose pass. It's play on for the Raiders with Croker. Gets away from one. Croker. Attacking Marcus Byers' wing. He's been in a bit of trouble for the Storm. And the Raiders with Stewart and Kennedy. Kennedy stepping 10 metres out. Good pass back to Ricky Stewart. Nagus angles back in field. Canberra getting a roll on, but still in need of that try to break through. Stewart for Clyde. Is this it coming? Croker. Ferner. Here it is for the Raiders. Mullins scores for Canberra. Is this going to be the start of the comeback? Mullins, the try scorer. They are on the board. It has taken them 56 minutes, and it's 20 points to 4.
They've played some very good football this half. The Canberra Raiders getting a lot more possession. Stewart's long passes starting to take their toll. Not too many Melbourne Storm defenders out there. Carlaw just come on to fill in for Marcus Bye, and he made a mistake as just sprinting up out of the line once again and giving an open forum for the Canberra attackers down that side. Well finished off by Brett Mullins.
It certainly was well finished off, but Tony Martin decided to stay still. He should have gone forward. Just coming to our view, but nice long pass. What you said was correct from Ricky Stewart. That's where Martin should have come in to help young Scotty Hill out. Carlaw went for the intercept. And I'll tell you what, if he caught that, he would have scored down the other end because there was no one at home for Canberra.
So Brett Mullins, the try scorer. Certainly time for the Raiders. They've had the better of it since half time. And Ferner, his first kick of the day. Raiders captain. 20 metres out, 5 in from touch. Ferner's kick successful. So he's on song with a boot. And 20 points to 6 the scoreline. The Storm over the Raiders. Steve Roach.
Well, the Raiders are taking a leaf out of Melbourne Storm's book. Just have a look at how many players are running in motion onto the football. Catch and pass. It's the first time they've done it in this match. And Mullins gets the reward at the end. I'll just go through a couple of the injuries. And a great kick here from David Ferner. Just moves right in now. And that puts them on the scoreboard for 6 points. And just a couple of injuries too. Hetherington has got a shoulder injury. He won't be back. Bonicolo, a shoulder injury. He will not be back. And Kennedy in some trouble out there, limping at the moment.
Block since half time. Canberra with a better of play. Are you prepared to write them off?
Well, they've got to do a lot of things to get right back into this game. Still 20 points to 6. I suppose that if they do muscle up and run onto the football like they did in that last try, they're a bit of a chance of getting a couple of tries, but they've been a little bit flat for mine.
Stewart's kick with a bruise at his back is deep, is very deep. The bounce, though, sits up for Geyer. Geyer gets there first before Robbie Ross. So Matt Geyer, he'd like to bottle the start to this match and produce it every week.
Well, I won't write them off because I've just seen a few of their players like Stewart, David Furner, the old firm, Brad Clyde and Brett Mullins start to do some things that we've seen them do many, many times over the last 10 years. Got those inside balls. Mullins made that bust before. He just scored a try. He's starting to look a lot better, the Raiders.
And at the same time, perhaps Melbourne a little slower than they have been through the match. Some strong meters from Evans to short of halfway. And now Canberra start to muscle up in defence. Prittis and Payton with a backslamming tackle on Swain. Kamali's kick, last tackle. Mullins will get a chance to run it here from his own 10-metre line. Mullins trying a step, got away from Marquette, got away from a second. And Bell traps him as he lost balance, Brett Mullins. Kennedy, as he's done all day, has been the first man back for the hit up after kicks. Marcus behind the bench for Melbourne, and that doesn't look good. Not returning this match. Wiki not able to pass. They're trapped inside their 20 right now, Canberra. Crucial set of 6, Clyde. Attack down the blind side for 5 metres. Wiki, one-handed pick-up, a dummy half, DeVico. Now the Melbourne defence lifts. So 5 tackles eaten up, and they're still inside their 30, Canberra. Well, that is a handy penalty if ever there was one. On the last tackle, Melbourne penalised.
I can't believe this here with the referee. I know he's holding him down, but
I must admit he's a good referee, Stephen Clark. He's been very nitpicky around that play the ball area today. A lot of stops and starts from him, but all in all, it's still been a very, very good game of rugby league. And just remember, Andrew, that a few months ago, Manly led Canberra 20-0. Canberra came home and won the match.
Did indeed, as Clyde turns inside here for DeVico. Canberra in the right part of the field if this challenge is to continue. Prittis there for Stewart. There's the flick pass back for Kennedy. Now the passers finding their mark, and just as I say that, Prittis puts it down, and Ross comes away for the Storm. He's got Clyde chasing. Wiki makes the tackle from behind. Quick play the ball. Carlaw's away from dummy half. McNamara flings him to ground on the 40-metre line. Some quick play the balls from Melbourne. Kamali for Kearns. The momentum now with Melbourne as Swain passes for Hill. And the crossfield Scott Hill. One of their 4 try scorers. Geyer. Another one of the try scorers. He's running right across the halfway line as if there's a magnet there. Now he straightens up Geyer. 35 metres out from the Canberra line. Exciting play from the Storm winger Martin. There for Kamali. Kamali then passing. This Melbourne crowd is now lifting again. They're 25 metres out from the line. Kamali and Hill. Inside runner was Marquette. Good tackle from Kennedy. And back Kamali. 20 metres out for Ross. Nice passing with Rua. 10 metres out from the line. Last tackle for the Storm. And Kamali. Here comes another kick. It is a little deep from Kamali, only just, and Nagus had judgment there on the dead ball line. So back to the 20 for Canberra.
a little bit too heavy once again from Kamali. I think the better option really was to try and put the ball on the ground. Just get another set of 6 against Canberra in their own 25, put some more pressure on them.
Right on the blocker, the story on Marcus Bai. Blocker in just a moment. Just get a shot of Marcus Bai warming up on the sideline. Pass comes up for Pearson. Taken by Bell. 5 metres inside the Melbourne half. Here's Hetherington. And last tackle. Marquette was the tackler for Melbourne. Stewart. Quick pass. It is the last. Clyde steadies for the kick. It's swinging back in field. Ross is back. And now Ross has a chance to run, and he gets outside the 20, Robbie Ross.
He's exciting, isn't he, Robbie Ross? The wingers and fullback, they're just unbelievable for Melbourne. I think they must do now. They've got to keep going and putting pressure on the Canberra side. But what Canberra need to do, they get back in this game fully, is to start getting 2 passes off the ruck and run at their small men of the Melbourne side.
We'll go back to Steve Roach. Steve, Marcus White.
Yeah, Marcus White was a cork shin, but I didn't think they'd use him unless they had to, but he's running back out there now, replacing Carlaw.
And hence the cheer from the fans as Carlaw goes to the bench and Nickau is with it for Melbourne. You just feel the roll-on that Canberra had after that try may now have dissipated as Hill, a weaving run and a deft kick fielded by McNamara. Martin is up there in defence. And Melbourne have regrouped after conceding that try. 14 points is the margin. Furner called forward. Melbourne will get a scrum feed. 25 metres out from the Canberra line. 20 points to 6, the Storm over the Raiders. Back with the action, the Sports Tab final series here at Olympic Park. Second of the elimination quarterfinals. North Sydney beaten last night by Canterbury. And right now Melbourne in control against Canberra. Kamali and Hill. Long ball from Hill. Bella's with it. 10 metres out from the line, Melbourne on the attack. This is the testing time. Last chance for Canberra, if you like. They must hold on here to have any chance as Kearns is upended in the tackle. Kamali calling for the ball. He receives Kamali. Here is Nickau. In front of the Raiders, post good tackle on Nickau. As good as any in the match. It came from Luke Prittis. And lashing out with a boot was Tawira Nickau. Swain goes from dummy half for the Storm. You can see that try line. Now Nickau is there. He has a go, the captain. And held up. Prittis hanging on in defence with Furner. Swain again. They pass to the left. Kamali. Canberra's defence just hanging on. And last tackle it was, so changeover.
Good strong defence from the Raiders. They've got some great qualities, the Raiders. Plenty of ticker out there. Jason Croker. Some of these Raiders, I've got no doubt, are playing wounded. Brett Hetherington, for example, got a bad shoulder, but he's had to go back out. Not so many troops left for them.
Hetherington, the man passing there as the Raiders come wide with Nagus. This match, of course, not the end of the football action today on the wide world of sports. Tonight, live from Marathon Stadium, the Knights in Sydney City. The loser of that game will play Canterbury next weekend. In the meantime, Clark rules another penalty. The captain's on the bench for Melbourne.
And that penalty, once again, coming in around about the 4th tackle. Really has helped the Canberra side out to get out there at 25. And Ricky Stewart needs to take more control and get the players out nice and wide, and that's where they'll create some havoc out there in the open.
Hetherington offloading there for Prittis. Hetherington to the Cowboys next year. Prittis to Adelaide. Switch of play from Stewart. There with Croker. Croker showed the ball there to Clyde and ended up linking up with Kennedy.
Oh, it's all slow motion stuff for the Raiders at the moment. They've got to pick the speed up.
Prittis with Stewart. Up to the line, gets the pass, finding Furner. And Melbourne weren't prepared to attempt the intercept. It was Kamali. He was happy just to make the tackle. And now from dummy half, there was some interference there from Melbourne. It's picked up by Wiki. Still 25 out with Clyde. Last tackle for the Raiders. They must get a result from a kick here. Stewart, he tries the short kick and Mullins on the fingertips has lost it. It'll be a knock-on against the Raiders.
Well, nearly a Ricky Stewart, Brett Mullins special there. A deft kick by Stewart. Mullins at full pace. Got his long arms to it. Just couldn't control it. He's looking to pass it in the one action.
Clock counts down. 13 to go. 20 points to 6. Melbourne led at half-time by 20 points to 0. Swain at dummy half. Evans. Ended there. Clyde. Furner released in the tackle when it was looking like it could get to that dangerous stage. And now Williams to the 40-metre line for Melbourne. Strong effort today from Danny Williams. He's given great value to the club this year. As Swain takes off for 10 metres.
He's been very good from dummy half today, Richard Swain. Sometimes over the past couple of weeks, I don't feel as though he's running up, but he's made plenty of metres today. Charge down, but no 6 to go.
And Geyer, that was knocked out of their hands. They're restarting in the tackle count, so Mullins, Melbourne players offside. Rorty makes the tackle. Mullins has lost it, 2 in the tackle. Penalty to Canberra. 12 remaining. There's the situation. It's the penalty conceded here, the 2 in the tackle on Mullins.
Well, I think that the Melbourne Storm feel as though they can afford to give away a few penalties now and just slow things down because they've got the 14-point lead under 12 minutes to go.
Critis with Stewart. And then away for Brand. Offloading there for Furner. Inside the 40-metre line. Now it comes for Stewart. 30 metres out from the line. Hetherington is with it. Critis. And with Stewart. Back now, Payton able to offload, and Stewart just batting it on for Wolford. Then for Brand. 30 out from the Melbourne line. Plenty of offloads. They're not going forward all that far, and then lost in the finish by Payton. So Melbourne with the ball.
It's one thing that the Canberra side really have to do with under 12 and a half minutes to go in this game. They've really got to try something as Marcus Pai goes for another gallop down the field.
Oh, test out that shin. Marcus takes on Mullins and is taken to ground by Mullins. Marcus Pai on the right of the field. His home zone is the left. Kamali here with Hill. Hill through the tackle, the first line, and then almost past Critis. 20 out, Kamali to the right. Runner there in Bowden, then back for Kamali. Still 15 out in front of the post. Bell a short pass. And Canberra. Into the last line of defence at 20 points to 6. Bell passes for Martin. He's not able to offload though. Wiki was there in defence. And the Storm, Williams and Rorty coming across field. Another one to play in every game this year, Ben Rorty for the Melbourne Storm. Last tackle. Kick from Kamali across field. Mullins is on the wing for the Raiders, and Mullins makes the catch for Canberra.
Oh, tremendous take there by Mullins under enormous pressure. All the Melbourne players getting through on him. Tremendous take there to save the Canberra side once again. Gets up nice and high there. Just gets above everybody else. That's great football.
Stewart, flick ball. There for Furner. Bumping away, back for Wolford. At least this time the offloads leading to some metres being made. Stewart over the 40-metre line. That pass ricochets off the chest of Wiki, and Melbourne have possession with Williams. Another potentially good raid for Canberra comes undone. Marcus Pai. 40 metres out from the Raiders line. Inside the final 10 now. Here's Evans.
They've all been strong, haven't they, their forward pack? Unbelievable, just going forward all day long with a little halfback now. Probably coming Tawera, I think, had his best game.
25 metres out. It comes up for Rorty. Raiders defenders starting to look tired. They stood back there, allowed Rorty to run 10, and the Raiders down to 12 at the moment. As it comes wide here with Martin, stepping away from Croker, steps inside Kennedy. Croker came again. Last tackle for the Melbourne Storm. Furner is the player down for the Raiders. Kamali, there's a short pass called forward. That should be the changeover on the last tackle, although now the concern with Furner back outside the 20-metre line. With Furner down, we will take a break. 8 to go, 20 to 6 to the Storm. Back here at Olympic Park, 8 minutes remaining, and David Furner being assisted from the field, the Canberra captain. Here's what happened to David Furner. Just awkwardly caught when Nickau stepped. It may well have been the left knee that collected David Furner. He was twisted badly. It's his left leg. David Furner, it does appear, has played his last football for 98. At this point, they're always going to have to do it at some stage this season that we start to talk about, well, the end of an era with Stewart and Clyde. Their reign at Canberra comes to an end.
Well, they've had trouble today, the Raiders, making clean breaks, and when you've got players of the calibre of Laurie Daly and Mark McClellan missing, two players who can make clean breaks, they're always going to do it very tough.
Here's some puts the pass up for Kennedy. Just outside the 30-metre line. Wolford. There for Stewart. Passing there from Nagas. Little juggle there from Ken Nagas. Then over to straighten up. Get it to halfway. And Croker is with it. Stewart. There's that spiralling pass, the trademark of Ricky Stewart. Clyde. Inside ball. Fielded by Danny Williams. He's everywhere. Gets it inside the Canberra half. Vico, the tackler. Swain. And up with Evans. Running straight at the defence of Payton. He doesn't go to ground too often, Wayne Evans. Swain. More good metres from the dummy half. Spinning in the tackle was Geyer. Geyer gets away and puts the kick in. Wolford, the little hooker, is back. He gets a push in the back. Well, I thought he was pushed in the back, Wolford. Ross claims the try. They will go to the video referee. I think the challenge from Ross on Wolford will be deemed illegal.
Yeah, very interesting on this one. Melbourne players confident it will be a try. I think it's all irrelevant now because Canberra don't have enough time to score enough points. Swain's been terrific out of dummy half. Matt Guy has been absolutely outstanding on the wing. Once again, using his brains. And Robbie Ross, push. Yeah, it's a push in the back. No try.
We should point out, Paul, you can jostle, side on, shoulder charge if you like, but
you can jostle, but you can't push.
And you see the Canberra players all saying to the referee, there's plenty of pushing in here. Let's see. Well, I actually think that the hooker has touched the ball. Simon Wolford will come up with no try. He touched the ball with his left hand first.
No try, the decision. Video referee Barry Barnes. I will ask you, Paul, is it any concern for Melbourne? I know it's finals football and they had the match, I guess, in control at 20-0 at half-time. Is it any concern they haven't come up with points since the break?
What about the mistake they just made there?
That'll do me, one of the best. No, I don't think it's a concern at all. They had that wind behind them, they were on fire on attack, and they defended quite well this half. Canberra have played well in the second half, no doubt about it.
Perhaps Melbourne about to set the record straight with a try of their own. Swain and Kamali. Right there with Geyer, he's closer to the action now, here goes Martin. Martin for the corner, and bags another one. Tony Martin, the teenage centre for the Storm. There's the try we were hoping for.
Good night, Mary. Raiders gone for 98. The Melbourne Storm. Look at the smiles on their dials, the exuberance and enthusiasm of this Melbourne Storm side. Terrific performance by them today. Guy's gone from the wing. He's now playing as a 5'8". He's throwing passes all over the place. Cutouts, second mans, everything. Nothing he can't do out there today, Matt Guy. Look at him, beautiful ball. And Tony Martin's had a terrific game. Canberra not marking out once again. Nice one.
They certainly have had a lot of trouble over there, the Canberra right-hand side defence, but here's the mistake here, thrown straight in the head of Luke DeVico, and that really deterred things around there for the Melbourne side. They were going to defend for a set of 6. They've come up with a nice, good ball, but Matt Geyer has had a great game along with this guy here. Tony Martin just ran straight into the hole. They've really struggled all day long, the Canberra right-hand side defence, sliding and not taking the person who had the ball in hand.
Morley another kick. He's landed only 2 today. 5 tries though to 1 for Melbourne. The Storm live another week in the final series. Kamali's kick across the face. Did it have the distance? 24-6. The Storm over the Raiders. 6 remaining.
Well, what about the confidence Matt Geyer is playing with? Unbelievable skills here. He goes to the line with speed again. Beautiful pass on the outside. And Martin gets on the outside of Wiki. And that's the stealer. You can't afford to make mistakes coming out of your own end.
Shifted the ball wide. Martin was roaring onto the ball to score. Short kick up from Canberra goes the way of Bell. All the players on the open side of the park now for Melbourne. It's Carwell with it. Taken in the tackle of DeVico. And Kamali. Intercept. Well, here comes a try. Will it be for the Raiders? It's Ricky Stewart. Look at the legs of Ricky. His last try for Canberra. Oh, well done, Ricky Stewart. It'd be mixed emotions. emotions that moment to score as his side is headed for an exit from the competition. But Stewart with an intercept try, 4 from full time. 24-10.
Consolation job for Ricky Stewart, but well done. Good on you, Rick. Great career at the Canberra side. Fitting in, he leaves his beloved green and whites with a try. Remember, he got an intercept in a State of Origin game down here in Melbourne quite a few years ago, 94 I think it was. That was similar, and he finishes it off well.
He'll certainly be very happy about that, getting the ball off his opposite number in Kinmorley. He's played very well today, Ricky. He's trying to get his side going under enormous pressure with 20 points down. Young little halfback going to the line, just holding the ball up just a fraction too long to Marquette, who was flying into a hole. And there he goes. Ricky Stewart going to the Bulldogs next year. He sorely missed there at the Canberra side.
It was almost a pained look on the face of Ricky as he went across the line. He may have had a flash across the mind that he wished that was going to be the match-winning try. Well short of that as he raced 30 metres to score. Jeff McNamara gets the kick with Ferner on the bench. They've closed the gap, but too late. 24-10, McNamara. He's wide with a kick. Not by a great deal. Steve Roach and Laurie Daly on the sideline. A 24-10.
Yeah, good to see Ricky Stewart finally get a try in his last game. Sensational play for him. Up in the line, the intercept. And how would you sum up the performance today, Laurie?
Yeah, obviously it hasn't been one of our best. The first half, obviously Melbourne got to a big lead, but our guys kept on trying. You know, they never threw the towel in, and a disappointing day, I suppose, in the club's history with Ricky and Bradley and a few of the other guys leaving. It's a sad day, but I'm sure we'll come back stronger next year.
Yes, we should identify those players again leaving. Ricky Stewart, Bradley Clyde, Brett Hetherington and Luke Prittis. Full won't be in Canberra colours next season. There's another one who's not out there today, David Boyle, who's headed elsewhere next year, and he's been a valuable contributor for the Green Machine. So Canberra with it on their own 20. And they attack Pearson. Held up by Nick Howe. Croker was the man who delivered the pass. Wolford. And back with Payton. Over the pass for Brand. So plenty more football still to come. Wolford overran the ball at dummy half. Stewart. The Knights and the Roosters tonight. Pearson gets it to halfway, and we'll have the Broncos and Parramatta tomorrow from ANZ Stadium. Ken Nagus. Quick hands from Stewart. Almost forward there to Wolford. Then for Nagus. Last tackle. Beautiful take from Carmore.
Well, things when they're going your way, they go your way, don't they, in rugby league? Beautiful take, as you said, in the hands of John Carlos. Now the Melbourne side once again go wide straight away.
Approaching the final 60 seconds. Denny Williams, another 15 metres for the former Bear. Taken to ground by Brand. Now Bowden gets a run from dummy half. Good metres again, another 15 to the 30-metre line. Raiders end of the park. Williams. Evans, another try to cap off the afternoon just nicely for the Melbourne fans here. Their last appearance at home for 98 in their debut season. Kamali kicking back in field. Mullins has got a bit of a chase here, and it falls there the way of McNamara. Almost the 6th try for the Melbourne Storm. And I don't think Canberra will be in any rush for this line dropout.
Very, very lucky there for the Canberra side, just the bounce of the ball. One of the rare occasions in this game where it's actually gone their way into McNamara's hand, because Robbie Ross was certainly there to score the try if needed. The last throw of the dice here.
Another line dropout. Down the throw of Robbie Ross. Siren sounds. Bowden runs it back for the last time. Gets collected in a high tackle from Warford. Clark just rolls across the chest. So Canberra make their exit from the competition, and Ricky Stewart and Bradley Clyde make their exit from the Raiders. We will take a break. The Storm defeating the Canberra Raiders 24-10. Back soon to wrap it up. And Blocker would have man of the match.
touch shaky last week, the Melbourne Storm, but today they were back to their very best. A stunning 24 points to 10 victory over the Canberra Raiders. The Raiders now gone for 98. For the Storm, the try scorers were Guy, Hill, Martin got 2 and By, Kamali 2 from 6, and for the Raiders, Mullins and Stewart got the tries, Furner the lone goal. The man of the match today, the McDonald's man of the match, went to the halfback of the Melbourne Storm, Brett Kamali. He was terrific. He gave his outside backs plenty of room to move. He made the odd break or two, and he came up with 20 tackles. A superb performance for him. Who else played well for the Storm, Wiz?
I thought Guy played well. I thought Marcus By, Robbie Ross, and mate, they all play well for each other today. I think they learned a lesson from last week's game, and they just got together and really out-muscled the Canberra side today. Sorry to see the guys like Stewart and Clyde go out to lose it, but that's football, isn't it?
Yeah, great day for the Storm.